A very good morning, my dear Silent Rose family. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your weekend. Over this past week, we have been listening to a whole set of reflections on hard work and commitment. What are some good ways to ensure that we continue to keep up the good hard work that we're doing? And what are some blessings that can come out of it? But what do you do when you're not in a mind state or a position to do hard work? What do you do then? Our reflection today is going to focus on what to do when you're unable to do the hard work and keep up your commitment. And so, to get some clarity of this aspect, let's take up the Gospel of John, chapter 5. Here we see a miraculous healing that Jesus does for a handicapped man. For many of you who are familiar with this Gospel, you know that this pool at Bethesda was considered as a very miraculous pool of healing. People from near and far used to come all the way to this pool to be healed of their disabilities and their vices. Among all these people was a man, a handicapped man who had been waiting for 38 years along the sides of that pool to get that healing. This handicapped man was waiting to be helped by someone to get into that pool. He felt alone and hopeless because anytime he would try to get into that pool, there were so many other people who would push past him or shove him aside to get into that pool and get the healing that they need. And so this handicapped man felt like he was left behind and he needed someone's help to get to that pool. Oftentimes, dear friends, we are like this handicapped man. We live in such a competitive world, a world where everyone is trying to work hard to get that promotion or to get employed in a top institution, to earn their highest salary among the peers so that they can have a luxurious life. And sometimes we even hear from our parents that in order to survive in this competitive world, we too have to fight hard and edge our way to the top in order to have a secure future ahead. We are told that if we're not competitive enough or smart enough to figure out ways to progress in our career or health or any other part of our life, then others will trample over us and get ahead of us. Doesn't this sound a lot like the handicapped man who was waiting by the side of the pool for 38 years? So when others push past us, we tend to get scared. We feel insufficient. Suddenly, we let our insecurities define us. Maybe you're somebody who's struggling because you don't know to speak English, or you're somebody who might be struggling to lose some body weight. Or maybe you're someone who feels like your skills are insufficient to get you that promotion at work. Or maybe you're someone who feels like you don't deserve to be loved. Like this, there may be many, many reasons that make you feel insecure, insufficient. These insecurities can make you feel like no amount of hard work can get you close to anything that you desire, but more importantly, to the place that God desires for you. That is the world talking to you. Jesus speaks a language of love. He speaks a language of encouragement. He tells you today that no amount of insecurities can ever define who you are and what God has in store for you. Dear friends, for 38 years that disabled man waited to get to that pool of healing, to be healed. But in the end, Jesus, the fount of living water, came to the disabled man and gave him the healing that he was waiting for 38 long years. The many people who pushed and trampled this disabled man may have stopped him from getting to that pool at Bethesda, but nothing in this world could stop him from encountering Jesus, that fount of ever living water, who gifted him a new life, a healed life. And so, dear friends, through this gospel example, what I ask of you is to submit whatever insecurities you may be feeling at the Lord's feet. Let not these insecurities define you and stop you from doing the hard work that you need to do to achieve everything that God has set aside for you. One day, as I sat down to make a presentation for a job interview, I struggled for almost a week to put together that presentation because each and every time I came up with an idea, I felt like I did not sound smart enough. But this is when my spiritual mentor gave me a very valuable lesson. She told me, for Jesus to make wine, you need to first provide him with the jars of water to do so. And so this was a learning moment where I did my best to overcome my insecurity of not having smart thoughts. I submitted my insecurities to Jesus, the fount of living water, and he turned my presentation from a jar of water into wine. And so, dear friends, the world may teach you that you may need to shove and push your way to struggle and get to the pool at Bethesda. But the reality is that if you put in the hard work you need and believe and pray faithfully, the fount of living water will come to you and bless you abundantly with the healing that you need.